wakes up. Wake up, Glenn, Angel, and the Flying Dutchman.
Wake up in the morning feeling like
Kiss 92's Big Show.
Good morning, Singapore, and welcome to the biggest and best breakfast show here in Singapore. It's a Thursday. Usually we have Adrian Choo here today, but we have the co-founder at Career Agility International with us today. It's Yen. Good morning, Yen.
Good morning, everyone.
Thank you
my
for
God.
joining us.
We missed you. We haven't seen you in a while.
Your studio is amazing. The chair is amazing.
Happy International Women's Month.
Happy International Women's Month.
Yay. So glad you're
and
here.
how nice to have you in the studio today, because you'll be talking about, some problems women face in their career.
Well, not problems. I
Challenges?
don't want it to be a negative thing.
Okay.
I want it to be an awareness that
Okay.
sometimes these are the things that are very common among the clients that I have coached in my time. So again, caveat, it's entirely my opinion,
Okay.
based on my experience in coaching the hundreds and hundreds of clients that I've helped.
Okay.
Some of these are the more common ones that are regularly raised as issues. So I thought I'd just highlight the top three.
Okay.
Issues
Okay.
as opposed to problems.
That's right.
Okay,
So
all
I use the word problems. You know
Yes,
me.
yes.
I'll just throw these
Always,
words in.
always.
But issues.
Issues
Okay.
or challenges. Yeah.
So maybe we can talk about the first one.
yeah.
The first issue.
What's the first issue?
The first one I've noticed, very, very common, women are just too nice. It's a huge thing. Most of them are averse to conflict. They're very nice. They're very what's the word for it? Humble. They're overly modest. They tend to use value deductive words.
Like what? What do you mean by
Like,
value?
Oh,
deductive?
hi, Angel. It's nice to meet you. So what do you do? Oh, I'm just the someone or other.
Right.
Oh,
Okay.
right.
Okay.
Or there's an expectation that I have to make you feel more comfortable because it's just the nature that when you walk in, we're like, oh, I'll be the one greeting you, I'll be the one making things nice, even though I might be hierarchically a lot more senior.
Why are women like that?
I think it's the way we are. It's just our genetic predisposition.
Really?
Again, not all.
Yeah.
I was gonna ask, is this very typically an Asian thing, or do you find this is a global thing? I know you train here, but I mean, you do read research from across the globe as well. So does it
Yeah.
happen across the globe?
Yes.
It does, okay.
Yes,
Okay.
yes. And all the way up the food chain, I see it very often. Again, not all, but as those that are aware of it, then you can manage it, right? So, for example, if you were to introduce yourself, I hear a lot more women saying things like, I look after business development. No, you don't. You are the person in charge of the P&L for the whole of Singapore and Malaysia and
Right.
Thailand.
Right.
Okay.
So there's that.
So
There's that.
play it up.
No.
So they don't play it up.
I don't want them to play it up.
You don't
either.
want them to play it up. Okay.
So it leads to a second point in a little while more. But
Okay.
I want women to be aware that they have to put a little bit of thought into why they say what they say. And whether or not what they are saying is creating a stronger perception or something that people are going to go, right, bit of fluff.
Not so important.
Right.
Right,
Okay.
Got it.
Understand.
Okay.
But what should she have said then? Let's say if she's in charge of the entire
P&L, yeah.
P&L of Southeast Asia and all that.
Shouldn't she just say it as
Just
it
say it
is?
like it
Call-
is,
call
right?
an apple
Because I
an
thought-
apple, right?
Exactly. So the tone would be a matter of fact one,
Right.
something along the lines of, hi, it's nice to meet you. So I'm the GM. I run the P&L for Singapore, Malaysia, and Thailand. Full stop.
Okay.
And then
Yeah.
you don't have that inflection.
Yeah.
That's the other thing about women. When they're too nice, they're trying to be, it's almost as if they're asking for permission.
Yes,
So,
I get what you mean.
I'm the person in charge
Yeah.
of, Malaysia.
Right, yes, yeah. So
Yeah.
it's the tonality as well. So it's a lot of practice that goes involved, gets into that, just that simple introduction of what you do,
Right, exactly.
which will set the tone for the rest of the conversation, I would expect.
Half the battle is in the awareness. So if you're aware of it, hopefully you do it less.
Be more conscious of it.
And you get started on a stronger footing, because when you enter a room and you have to introduce yourself, and as everyone's going around the table, you establish yourself as a presence.
Yeah.
And a lot of women are too nice to sit at the head of the table or near the front of the table.
Yeah.
They come into the meeting and they move themselves to the back.
to the back or the center,
So
yeah.
what I'm trying to say is that it's a whole thing.
Okay.
And it all stems from this, I'm just being nice. But when you're being nice, then people treat you like a doormat. And you don't want that.
Okay, let's continue
okay.
this conversation on The Big Show TV. We're with Yen from Career Agility International. You're tuned in to KISS 92. It is the 23rd of March.
Kiss 92 Day Check by Gain City. Gain City's 42nd anniversary sale.
It's very English, right? It's like, you know,
What do you mean?
as in like, you know, the English, they're very like, you know, they're always like asking for permission.
I don't know, but I think
kinda-
it's very Asian as well because Asians are brought up to be sort of subservient as well, you know, so they always take a back seat to the men's positions or what the men do.
But is that because women don't want to come across as being pushy or as
Yes.
being,
Naggy.
you know, I want to say obnoxious, but that's the wrong word.
Yes, you're right. So again, this is not just a woman issue. I'm sure there are men who are also a lot less out there.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying that in general, I noticed that a lot more women, when they don't think about it, they kind of go back to basics, which is how we were brought up. To be seen and not heard. You know, yes, my parents would say, ask questions. But when you ask the questions, you go, why are you asking so much?
Yes.
So we know that we shouldn't speak up, or it's just in our DNA. So it's something else that also happens in the Asian context. We're not taught to introduce ourselves well.
Yeah.
So
True.
if we go around the table and we go like, hi, how are you? What do you do? Or for example, let's say it's a training situation and a whole bunch of different people, all colleagues, but we don't know everyone, and we're all in the same training room. We go around the table and everyone has to talk about their work. More women than not would underplay the amount of contribution.
Yes.
They would underplay their work or their job scope unless they have been taught. And so they know, then hopefully you can lean in and have your say.
Yeah, because a lot of the times that women, when they introduce themselves at a group setting, firstly the handshake is very limp. They almost want to pull away. You know, as soon as they go in, they're almost done with the handshake even before it happens, right? And then they're like, yeah, my name is Angel, and then they just pull away and they hope that they're tucked into the back of the room and forgotten about almost. But then
Wow.
they could be
Ladies.
one.
You're
Yeah,
talking about ladies.
Wow.
Women. Yeah, I've noticed that as well because I go in and I'm like, hi, yeah, I'm Angel. You know, I do this, da 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 da, da. But then you feel like you're coming on too strong as well when
Yes.
you are shaking hands of someone who's not,
Yes.
which is quite intimidating. I feel for their side.
There's so much of this undercurrents. Sometimes you wonder. But again, as you were describing that, I'm immediately thinking, again, it's not a monopoly to women only.
Yes, of course. Yes,
I mean, there
men do
are
this as
men,
well. Yes,
and then sometimes there's an introversion, extroversion factor coming in. So again, what I guess I want for today and to share with our listeners out there is just to be aware of your tonality, your inflection, choice of words. As you introduce yourself, build that vocabulary so that you have an arsenal of nice
Yeah.
language
Yeah.
that you can bring up.
So, what is a generic introduction that someone can do? Because some people don't know where to start.
Yeah.
Or building that arsenal of language.
Very
you know?
different, FD. The ladies are very different.
They are.
But it's okay. I mean,
No, but as she said, some
they
men
just
as
do
well.
them. You know,
So,
It's like-
some men as well are very.
I've seen it with men.
very,
I have seen the same thing with
withdrawn.
men.
Yeah, hey man, you know what I do? I squeeze their hands, man. Yeah, that's what I learned this when I was much younger. No, I shook the hand of this gentleman. Right, he squeezed my hand. It was so painful. No, and I'm like, oh, okay, this is what that firm handshake
no,
is
no,
all
no,
about.
not squeezing.
that's-
So I went home.
That's too much.
Even till now at home, right, I have my gripper to
Yeah.
increase the strength, right? And when I shake someone's hand, if I see the guy's face, I don't really like.
So
And then
that's
they go, oh, I'll see a little grimace in his face. I'm like, okay, I got him.
Firm is not the
Hang on,
same
hang
as
on.
strong. You
That's-
don't hurt someone.
That's not a firm handshake. That's a pissing contest.
Yeah, exactly,
that's
right?
true also,
That's
that's
like
true.
who's bigger than who, right?
Yeah, it is, it is.
But coming back to that, I've always had a firm handshake and made eye contact.
Same,
right?
yeah.
So when I greet people, firm handshake, eye contact, and you know some men, they respond by gripping it back even harder.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
just
not
to kind
nice.
of dominate. And then there are
Yeah.
other, since we're on air,
TV, yeah.
I want to show, right? Sometimes people have that
They turn it
Over,
Over,
yes.
yes.
Donald Trump handshake.
Yes.
The one that dominates the
Yeah.
person, and sometimes they use both hands just to prove a point. I
Yeah.
don't know what they're trying
Yeah.
to do. So a quick tip for women who face adversarial handshakes: just shake it back and then tap. Use your other hand and tap.
Tap the hand off.
Tap.
Right.
Tap the hand
Okay.
off,
Okay.
yeah.
Got it. Got it. Okay.
Because you do see that, especially with men, this whole "I'll turn you over."
Yeah.
yeah.
It's becoming.
never experienced that.
Oh, it's becoming very prevalent.
But you're
these
talking about
days.
men when they shake a woman's hand or what?
Both.
Or both?
Men.
If the man perceives the woman to be
a threat.
strong,
Yeah.
Ah,
sometimes they do that.
right.
And
Okay.
I've
Not
learned not
nice.
to wear rings on my right hand.
Because it hurts. Yes, I know. Same as well. Every time, and then I've shaken hands with I've shook hands with men, and they grip so tightly that you're like, ow, you know. I mean, because you've got those rings on
I
your
should
hand.
never do that to a lady,
No,
though.
yeah, that's you shouldn't grip so tight.
It's literally just a sign of dominance.
Idiots.
But what about the complete opposite, the dead fish handshake? A lot of
Well,
people have that.
The thing is this: it is what it is. And when you shake the hand of somebody and they don't want to shake it, it's just another point to note. And as you size someone up, you take note that this person is probably shy, or introverted, and then it's up to you to try to draw him out. And that's okay. I mean, limb handshake, sometimes we miss each other. So sometimes
Yeah.
it just doesn't happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm happy to report that since COVID, everyone's now doing fist
fist
bumps.
bumps.
Yeah,
It's
which
a
is,
lot
which is good, right?
easier.
I think the fist
It's
bump
a
is
lot
pretty good. It's
easier
always
as well.
consistent
Yeah,
as well.
That's true. There's no
Right?
like hitting harder.
Once or twice, you get a lady with a sharp diamond ring. Ow. Yes, it happens.
But no, I've never had any
No,
pain with that
no,
though.
But
with
fist
the
bumps are so much easier.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you're not gonna punch a woman's hand.
And
it
it's
just
now
doesn't happen.
acceptable across the board, isn't
Yeah.
it?
Yes.
Even in the most serious sort of meetings
That's
with
right.
politicians or whatever,
Mm.
It's
fist
okay
bumps
to
are
fist bump.
acceptable.
Because
Yeah.
it's a global experience.
Yes.
When we had SARS and we wanted to do fist bumps, well, other cultures didn't have
Didn't
SARS.
get it.
So
Yeah.
they,
Yeah.
so, but I'm a fan. Unfortunately, handshakes are coming back.
Okay, I like a good handshake.
I used to kiss the woman's hand
That-
before, but
what?
that was back in the day.
No, but not for business meetings.
Cannot.
Not for
No,
business
yee.
meetings.
No, I'd be
Business
like
meetings,
creeped
I'll
out,
kiss
man. No,
the
I'd be
lady's
like,
hand. Why not?
So okay, we're going to traffic. I think.
Going
I
back,
saw that.
yeah.
Saw that.
Yeah,
so-
we saw a little sign.
I was gonna ask a question.
You can ask that question on air.
Yeah, I forgot what.
I love saying this lady's name. Rachel Platten.
It flows
So
well.
nice, right?
Rachel Platten.
Rachel
flows
Platten.
well. It flows nicely.
No, I've still got a lot of fire left in me.
Kiss 92 traffic.
All right, look out on the KJE heading towards the PIE. Right after the BKE entrance, an accident has been reported. Also on the AYE heading towards Tuas after the Penjuru Road exit, another accident has been spotted. Now, this is causing a backup all the way to Clementi Avenue 6. So once again, that's from Penjuru to Clementi Avenue 6. If you're along that stretch, avoid the right lane. For anything else, the number is 8855-0920.
Welcome back to The Big Show and The Big Show TV. Our guest for this morning is from Korea Agility International. Yen is with us. Good morning, Yen.
Morning. So happy to be here.
Yen, we were talking about handshakes just now, and you said something very interesting. A handshake can help you size up someone,
Yes.
right? And this must be really important because a woman sometimes, ladies, please don't take this the wrong way.
Please take it the wrong way.
Be careful, yeah?
No, a woman sometimes, when she comes out and she's confident, can seem very overpowering to a man who is less so.
Yes.
And that just ruins an entire discussion.
For who?
For
for
the man.
both.
For the man. No, I would say it was only the man.
No,
I think the man.
You
No.
are trying to have.
Nope.
No, listen.
Only
listen.
the man.
No, listen.
See, the expert says no. She
Listen,
agrees with me.
You are trying to have a discussion. And if you have ruined it for the man, as you say, the discussion falls apart. So when the discussion falls apart, who loses? Both parties lose because the discussion falls apart.
I disagree.
Yen
so,
has something to say.
so the question is, why is it on the woman to make the
No,
man
it's not.
feel comfortable?
It's not. What I'm saying is, I'm trying to say it's very important for the woman to size the man up.
And again, you say
And
it's
for
the
the
woman.
man,
There you go.
and for the man to size her
You
up.
So-
didn't
it's
realize
a
it, but
two-way.
really,
You
that's
didn't-
how
you
it came
don't-
across.
yeah.
So
That's how
both
it
of
came
them,
across.
woman has to come a little bit
Lower,
down
and
in
man
power,
needs to
and
raise it.
man
Not
has to raise
necessarily.
it. No,
So hear me out.
Yeah.
When I say women are too nice,
Yeah.
I'm not asking you to go across the spectrum on this very linear curve and be mean or to
No,
be overly
no, yeah,
powering.
yeah.
You don't have to, because a smile goes a long way in helping things be a little bit nicer as
True,
well.
true.
So it takes two to tango.
Yeah.
And I think if we can just be a little bit more aware and both sides.
Both sides.
And so what I came out to do today is to highlight that sometimes women play themselves down. And I don't want all women to go in consciously being lesser. But then it's not a direct
opposite.
Opposite.
Yeah.
it's just learning how to be more confident and smile. But that's okay, so that
Yeah.
works.
I want to be dominated by a woman. I like to be dominated by a
But
woman.
you know what?
It's just me.
Men have been doing this since the dawn of time. What's wrong with a woman going in more powerful than a man? I see nothing
No,
wrong
only
with
FD
it.
doesn't
No,
like
That's
it.
completely
No,
double
Some
standards.
men,
though.
some men don't like it. Some
No,
men don't like it.
I live with an incredibly strong dominant woman.
Oh.
I do. I'm
He's
married to one.
surrounded by women.
I'm
only.
married to one.
Okay.
And I enjoy that in a woman. I do.
Okay. Mhm.
Because I think too many women, as you say, are too gentle, are too nice, and sometimes, ladies, this is just my opinion, because you're so nice, you don't step up and challenge the norm. And I think
Yeah,
more
you're
women should be doing that.
Okay, I'm hearing you, and what I want to highlight again, they are not mutually exclusive. You can be strong, and you can be nice.
True.
I think FD, you're
and-
sinking
yeah.
deeper and deeper.
No,
into
because
what you said.
I think a lot of women
Where's-
women don't realize this.
Give
And
back
this-
the shovel.
I'm having my coffee.
I think a lot of women do not realize this. I think they don't. And I think there are so many women out there who can go so much further than the current norms
Right.
seem to.
I like
So-
Yen's
so-
One love, barbecue love.
I want to give some advice to women on ideas on how they can up their power
Their game.
without
Yeah,
the game,
their power.
without ever relinquishing the niceness.
Yeah.
And again, it's not really about playing games. It's about understanding the environment and then having the words to still lean in and be taken seriously. And not too long ago there was a show when we were talking about whether is it better to have a male boss
Yes,
or a
yes.
lady
Woman
boss?
boss.
Yes.
And then there was this whole discussion around, hey, do you call your boss bro?
Yes.
But we cannot call our boss sis.
Correct.
It doesn't work.
Yeah.
And so what I'm trying to say is that women are different. So we don't want them to be aggressive. We don't need them to be overly, powerful. We just need them to be aware that they don't diminish themselves. And so then you can decide whether you want to up the ante or you can downplay it.
Yeah.
But the point I'm trying to say is that too many women I've coached are unaware that they're using value deductive words. That's just one example of the niceness. They're not aware of their tonality. They're not aware that they have something worthy to say. And then a very quick tip, if they have something to challenge, and if you challenge it in the form of a question, it takes the edge off. So women play a different game.
Oh, right. I get it.
I
yeah.
see.
Yeah.
Okay, let's continue this conversation on The Big Show TV. It is 8:18.
Kiss 92 Time Check brought to you by Putian. This is your final chance to savor sweet and
Okay.
You're saying a question as opposed to a statement?
That's right.
Okay.
Instead of saying very assertively, I disagree with your point, is to say, I understand where you're coming from. Have you thought about ...
Yeah. Okay.
It's there are ways. So women have a different game to play.
But if you
because
really want to say a statement, can you just say a statement? You know what I
you
mean?
could.
Because
Well, you're wrong.
yeah,
That's a complete sentence.
I disagree.
But some people called through the last time when we did that topic, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would you rather work for a man or a woman? They said, "Oh, we rather work for a man
Men.
because the lady boss tends to get emotional."
Emotional.
Yeah.
I mean, how true is that?
There's a lot of truth to that, and in fact, it's a great segue into the next point if you want to talk about it.
Okay.
Is that women have multiple obligations. We come with many things. In fact, too many women have constant low grade stress. because they're thinking about so many things.
Yeah.
Right.
Hence the term multitasking comes
Yeah.
along, right?
But multitasking has been proven to be ineffective
Yes.
and unproductive.
Yes.
And it just hurts us. And so there is this thing called emotional energy.
Okay.
It's very weighted, and it takes a lot of energy from
Out of
us.
you.
So women have more of that, and if we understand where they're coming from, it helps us communicate better with women bosses and women colleagues, because we have seasons,
Yeah.
hormones.
Yeah.
But again, the woman is the welfare officer. It's an expectation. She's a welfare officer in the office
the
at home as
homemaker,
well.
yeah.
She's also the confessor. And she's the nutritionist.
She's
She's
the
the
nurse.
driver.
She's the doctor.
So the and in any family, regardless if it's childcare, elder care, everyone looks to the woman.
Yeah.
You go like, hey, make a decision. And if you think, oh, you're just making the decision, I'll do it. But the decision making is also very weighted in terms of that emotional weightage. So yes, we all have emotions. And so again, two things. One, if you are a leader, if you are aware of what you're projecting, that helps. Then your troops will be a little bit more, have some clarity on how we want to communicate on this planet. And if you are an executive, also be aware that the other people that you're dealing with or you're talking to, they all have things going on that we can't see. But men are very, I guess, what's the word for it? They have very partitioned thinkings. It's like
simplified.
I see it.
Our life is
I'll-
so much
I'll fix
easier.
it.
Yeah.
And you tell me, I'll do it, and then
Very
it's
very simple.
It's very binary.
Yeah, it
it's
is.
very
Yeah.
binary. Women are just like a mesh of wires.
I'm listening
And men
to
still complain.
And men always say to women, just tell me what you're thinking.
Yeah.
That's all it is. Just
Yeah.
tell me what you're thinking.
Where
man's-
do you want me to start?
Yeah, exactly. And then women are like, well, like 3 years ago.
A man's bad day is having a bad game at the golf course.
Yes, it's very simple.
No, but here we're talking about. I'm listening to you, and I'm older than any of them, and I'm listening to you and how women need to learn. And I will tell you, listening to you, this is an education for me. I wish this had been said to me at 25.
Why?
Men should bother to learn more about women.
But it was a different time, you see.
No, I don't. I
when
know.
you were
No.
25, this was
No,
19...
but if this was said to me,
70.
if this was said to me at 25, I would have been a much better person at 45.
You know what a chauvinistic world you were living in
Yeah,
back
that's-
then?
I know,
is true.
and I suffered from that.
Yeah.
I suffer from
Yeah,
that.
But no one was thinking that way
And
back
you
then,
can't-
so
you
don't be
can't
so
hope
hard on
for that.
yourself.
You
no,
can't
but
hope
what
for
I'm
that.
what I'm saying is, men need to learn as much as women need to learn. Men need to learn. It's going to make your life so much easier.
There's no better
Learn
time than
already,
now.
Andy.
There's no better time than
No,
now.
no, there are many men who are much better.
There are men who are
Because
much better. I won't say there are
society
many.
has become a little bit better.
Yeah.
Society has become more woke, right? Everybody's kind of careful with what they say to you, how they treat people.
Correct.
I think being careful is not what it's about.
Being
It's about
aware.
learning and understanding. It's not
The
about
reason.
being careful. It's
Being
why
aware.
you're being careful.
It's being aware. So
Yeah.
very quick
Awareness,
tip,
yeah.
a very quick
Yeah.
tip for our listeners. If you're going to meet a boss, you're going to meet a stakeholder, or you're going to have a very critical conversation, even if you're just meeting somebody passing, pause for just that split second and think about what's going on with them. And then when you're talking to them or you're speaking or having a conversation, you enter their frame, enter their plane of reference. And you'll find that things are just going to be smoother. It doesn't take that much more. It's just a split second of perhaps empathy and care and consideration. You know who's really good at that instinctively? My business partner, Adrian.
Really?
He just goes in there and go like, hey, how are you? And then he remembers everything that you told him. Your dog was ill, or, you had COVID. And like, immediately the next time he sees you, go like, so how have you recovered?
Right.
Or you went on a trip, how was the trip? So he's got that instinctively. The rest of us, maybe we have to learn it.
So for someone like Adrian, I mean, he has it instinctively, but for others who may not remember so well, do we then make sure that our research is done about the person prior to meeting the person, especially with a
Yes.
business meeting,
Yes.
right? About
Yes.
their kind of likes, about
Yes.
their common ground that you can touch on.
Yeah. So a very, very extreme example would be an interview situation. And so if you are going into an interview, don't just focus on me, myself, and I, everything I want to prove. This works for both male and women,
Yeah,
men
right.
and women. It's all about what can I do for you. Changing the I language to a
you.
you language, and suddenly your whole frame of reference shifts, and people start listening. You know,
And they
it's-
start feeling more welcome,
Yeah.
right?
That's right.
Unless it's just I.
Just like you're going out on a date. I mean, you're
It's
not
not
going
all
to be
about
talking
you.
about yourself
Yeah.
all the time.
Yeah.
Always start with, huh.
Are there double standards in the working world? Well, in
course there
the
are.
whole world
Of
for
course
women
there
and
are.
men.
Of course there are. So what I wanted to highlight was that women are measured differently than men. Again, we don't want to challenge the patriarchy. We're not going to win. It's about understanding the landscape and figuring out how best to navigate that landscape. So on that topic of double standards, definitely there's so many microaggressions. There's an expectation. For example, if a young female executive were to say to her leader, I want more responsibility. I would like to spread my wings. I would like to take on more projects. Bosses are looking at them going like, wait, but you've got a young child. How's that going to work? They're not going to ask the man,
You've
wait,
got a
you've
young
got
child.
a young child.
You
How's
don't-
that going to
yeah.
work for you?
Yeah.
It's
Because
just
they
that-
assume the woman behind the man is going to look after the baby.
or whatever,
Yeah.
right? So definitely the double standards are something that we have to be aware of, but don't challenge it.
Yeah, no.
Just play the game.
It's interesting.
When we go on the radio,
Yeah.
let's touch on double standards
yeah,
again.
I think
Yeah.
so. I think
Right,
it's important.
for the
Yeah.
benefit of the people who are listening early on
Yeah.
and are not watching us. So we'll talk about double standards, and maybe we can also talk about the third point as well. Okay. Stand by. We have about
Still a
40
while.
seconds. Okay. You should be an expert already, FD. Just your whole household.
No, you see, this is exactly what I was saying. How if this conversation had been said to me when I was younger, forget that was a different time. I'm
But
just
then,
saying.
but then there's no evolution at all. You know
No.
what I mean? These are things that happen
No,
slowly.
I disagree. If something like this had been said to me when I was 25, I would be a better person today.
You are who you are, though.
I'd
You
You've
wouldn't
been
be
punished
where-
already.
I'd be
Your
curious
whole
if
household
any of the
women.
listeners have something to add.
Okay, here we go.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Kiss 92 traffic.
On the AYE heading towards Tuas, right after the Lower Delta Road exit, another accident has been spotted and causing a backup all the way to Teluk Blanga. Avoid lane 1. Also on the KJE towards the PIE before the PIE Changi exit, yet another accident, and this time it's going all the way back to the Chua Chu Kang Drive exit. Avoid lanes 2 and 3. Now, quite a number of accidents out there. The last one is on the PIE heading towards Tuas before Jalan Bahar, also causing quite a bit of backup. I think the roads might be a little wet or, might be a little overcrowded. So wherever you are today, please stay extra safe.
Welcome back. We're on The Big Show and The Big Show TV with Yen, the co-founder at Career Agility International. Usually Adrian Choo is in, but today, Yen is with us, and we're talking about issues faced by women at the workplace. Once again, welcome, Yen.
And I want
you.
Yen to be here more often, not just in March when it's International Women's Month, because if we go by that standard, we'll only see her next year. Can we see her more often? I like this conversation.
Adrian? What about Adrian?
Adrian can come in once in a while. It's fine.
Oh, there. Starting already.
I like having another woman to converse with. It just balances things
Oh, we
out.
can
I
have
love
both
it.
of them in all the time.
Yes,
How
we
about
can.
that?
We can.
Okay.
There's plenty of room in the studio. Anyway, Yen, we were talking about double standards on the Big Show TV. Does
Yes.
that still exist in
It
the
does.
workplace?
And what I want to talk about when it comes to double standards, it's not discrimination per se. Discrimination happens regardless. It's just the fact that there's this undercurrent that women are measured on a different yardstick. So the example I was giving, if you were to attend an interview and the interviewer asks a lady, what are your thoughts on traveling? At the back of that of the interviewer's mind is how are you going to handle childcare in addition to amount of travel and all the job responsibilities and all of that. But they would never think that for a man.
Yeah.
And so consequently, the behaviors and the questions that continue from there would change as well. So again, a very quick caveat. Women who are listening, if you're going for an interview and they try to open the door to the topic of childcare, do not enter that door.
Meaning what? What
Meaning
should they?
so-
What should they say?
So
How do you
don't
not
even
open
go
the
in.
door?
So opening the door is like they kind of touch on it.
Yeah.
So you get,
The
what are your
interviewer,
thoughts? What are
right.
your thoughts on traveling? Because I see you're married or
Or you have a kid.
so
or something.
or you have a kid, and the woman's response should be, oh, my support structure is fine.
Okay. All right.
Don't go in to go give all that detail.
Like,
about
this is what I'm gonna
my
do.
Emotions,
Right, okay, yeah.
But they keep pushing.
yeah.
guilt.
Then you know.
No, but because I've done this. I've done this in an interview. So you're married and you've got 2 kids. How do you handle
Weekends or-
5-day conferences overseas?
It's a very relevant question.
It is.
Do you also ask that of the other
Men?
gender?
I don't.
Yeah.
You see, I
Okay.
don't. But what I am looking for when I ask that question is a woman who will turn around and say, "But I'm married. I'm not alone." Because that tells me 2 things. That tells me she can rely on her husband, so I don't have to worry. Number 2, they have a damn good relationship. She's stable.
Oh, that's a coached answer. But my point is that you did not ask that of a man.
No, I
Yeah.
don't. Because as men, we
That's the
see it
double
as,
standard.
You
Yeah, we see it
assume
as-
that the woman
we
will
see
be
it
at
as the
home.
woman's standard.
Yeah.
The double standard is right there.
She's absolutely right. This happens every day in the workplace.
It does.
And I mean,
Every
we,
day.
we fail to remember that sometimes men are single dads as well.
That's
Exactly.
right.
You
And
know?
sometimes men are the main caregiver as well.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. So,
So if I met a single dad, I'll tell you for sure I'd ask him the same question.
But until you found out, you wouldn't ask him.
You wouldn't
so
know.
The first impressions are very
Exactly.
good. So if a man enters a room, people give him the time of day
Yes.
until
Yes.
he proves otherwise.
Yes.
If a woman enters the room,
She has to earn it.
to prove herself.
Yes.
She has to earn it.
Yeah.
So
It is
I've
so
met,
prevalent.
It's true. I've met so many people, and they're thinking, you.
No, you
what,
can't
what
be.
would you know about careers? Who are you to tell me what to do with my career? And I'm
Yeah.
like, well, okay.
Yeah.
And then after I talk, and then they start taking notes, and I know I've captured them.
Yeah.
But again, that kind of rankles a little bit because I have to prove myself to you before you give me the time of day.
Okay,
That's the
let's-
double standard. That
Let's
I'm talking
continue to
about.
talk about this on the Big Show TV. And FD, remember you have a microphone.
Yeah, sorry.
It is the 23rd of March.
Kiss 92 Day Check by Gain City. Gain City's 42nd anniversary sale is
it's like all over the place.
It's all over the Yeah.
Okay, that was point number 2. What is point number 3? Multiple obligations.
That's right. That's what we were touching on earlier, just a little bit on how women have that emotional, I guess, weighted pressure of constantly worrying about everything. It's just the nature of the woman.
But
It's
women
just-
are also assumed to be the caregiver as well, isn't it?
It's not just the assumption. It is, I think, for a fact, most of us are built that
Built
way,
that-
right? So if I'm the one who looks after my family and I try to plan meals ahead of time, make sure everyone has a nutritional...
It's fed, yeah.
Right? And so the husband goes off and he comes home. And so if I'm preparing all this, I'm planning it ahead, he comes home, he goes, I'm not coming, I'm not having dinner.
At least let me know.
Right?
No, or the husband comes home and goes, "Oh my gosh, I'm so tired. So what did you do all day? Why are you so tired?"
Oh, dear.
So where I'm
there are
coming
people
from,
like that.
from the career point of view, is that if you are colleagues with someone who looks very stressed, chances are she's got a lot on her mind, and if you are an executive and you have a lot on your mind, then you need strategies to draw clear boundaries and to have coping mechanisms so that you understand why you are the way you are,
Yeah.
how to manage it, so that you don't make mistakes at work,
Yeah.
so that you don't cause, people to be uncomfortable around
Ruffle
you.
any feathers, yeah.
And I feel so bad for some women because they still put on a brave front
Yeah.
at work,
They
but they
do.
have so many things
Going on.
And the
you know.
biggest one is guilt.
Yes.
It is.
They're yeah.
Guilt, right? So today I have a long day, and even then I'm asking the husband, like, so tomorrow you take care of your own lunch. If you're not, you've got this in the freezer and we've got this other thing, you can just warm that up. Like, I'm still thinking, and that is
To take care
that
of.
energy
Yeah.
is
the
used up.
emotional energy.
That's right. And so if I come to work and I can't find a place to park, it accumulates, and then I'm stressed out.
Wow,
And guess
I
what?
like
I'm
the
going
way
to be
you're putting
prickly
it.
for the rest of the day. Because I'm constantly thinking, okay, so my daughter maybe came back from school with a bad experience with the teacher. She didn't do so well. And then the other kids got maybe girlfriend problems, or, another one fell down. I've got
Yeah.
3, right? And then the husband's off playing golf.
Right.
Do we?
Yeah.
Do we? 'Cause
Question is, do men consider that ever?
no,
What do women do?
no. I learned that the hard way.
But I like what you said earlier about when you meet someone, even if it's just casually, to kind of put yourself in their position and
That's
to kind
right.
of get a feel of what kind of day they're having, or or who they are and where they're coming from and what kind of journey they may have got, traveled just to get to that position in front of you.
Yeah.
Because not enough of us think that.
I think at the end of the day, my one take on this is men need to realize, take away the home, take away the family. A woman can do anything a man can do at work.
Absolutely.
She can. And in many cases, she'll do it even better because she's damn analytical. Right? And
Now you're sucking up to the
no.
women.
Now I have the question. Do you ever see the day where these stupid double standards will not apply?
No. I think it's just human nature. And let's just take the gender equation aside. We will also have double standards for other things like older people.
Oh yeah,
we
I
will
get
treat
that
them
all the
differently.
time.
It's just the way we're built psychologically. It is. So what I'm trying to say is that if you are in a certain position today, just to be aware of that landscape, figure out how to navigate. So if a woman is feeling the guilt, what are some ideas that you can utilize to manage that emotion a little bit better? So I work with my clients on how to draw healthy boundaries, and that's a whole different can of worms. And it's easier said than done because that requires effort and a mindset shift and sometimes some resistance.
Right.
And we talk about that so much. So to our listeners out there, if you're facing something, a cognitive dissonance, do I want to accelerate my career? But everyone's telling me, oh, my parent is ill and I've got a young child. I should be patient. No.
Don't let anyone
No,
tell you shouldn't.
Right? But it is about you then deciding the lay of the land. How do you want to arrange your chess pieces on the board for maximum impact?
What are these healthy boundaries that you were talking about?
A lot of that's in the mind, really. But there are some ideas that I have, and I work with my clients on how they can, either have the words to talk to their colleagues about, so that you don't. Okay, I'll give you a quick example. How to say no. So people go, oh yeah, just give it to Angel. She's great at Excel spreadsheets. Just ask her and she'll do it in 5 minutes. But your plate is full. And so there's an expectation. Why? Because you're nice. And we're coming back to that whole nice thing.
Yeah.
Right? That hey, well, just ask her. She'll say yes. Then how do you say no? Because sometimes we find it really hard to say no because we're nice.
Yeah.
So then we work on a whole series of many, many, many ways and phrases.
Give us one.
I would love to help, but if you can help me out with this other one, I can do that
like
one
an
a little bit
exchange.
faster, like
Yeah.
an exchange.
But what
Right,
if your
okay.
boss is,
See.
asking you to do something, and
Yeah.
you already have
So
too
much.
much
Yeah.
to do already.
Yeah.
Can you just tell the boss, look,
Yeah.
I don't want to burn out.
You can't tell the boss no, or I'm gonna burn out because boss is gonna clip your wings and not give you the promotion.
Can
'Cause
you
you're-
tell the boss, since I have 10 things on my plate, can I
Yes.
delegate two to
Yes.
XYZ?
Yes.
And then I can take on this project that you're
better
talking
still,
about.
push it back to the boss.
Oh, can you help me with these two things? And then I can take on this thing.
And,
Okay.
and then I've got one more. It's like, boss, I've got all these other things now. Tell me which one to prioritize.
prioritize.
Okay, we're going
Okay.
for a traffic update right
Okay.
now.
Kiss 92 traffic.
All right, on the AYE heading towards Tuas after the Lower Delta Road exit, an accident has been spotted. Avoid lane 1 if you're heading that way. And also on the KJE towards the PIE, right before the PIE Changi exit, another accident. Not sure which lane it's taking up, but if you can avoid that stretch, do so and stay safe.
Okay, welcome back to The Big Show and The Big Show TV. Our guest for this morning is Yen from Career Agility International.
Good
You've been here
morning.
with us for the past 40 minutes. My goodness.
And time has
just,
flown.
just
Yeah.
flown by just like that. But, we've had a very, very good time with you
Nice.
this morning. Now, we've covered 2 points. We're talking about issues that women face in their careers. And we touched on women being too nice. And then we touched on double standards. And for the benefit of our listeners who are just listening to us on the radio, what is the third and final issue?
And that would be most women executives or career-oriented women feel a lot of cognitive dissonance as they carry multiple obligations, and they take on a lot of that welfare of the home. They take on the emotional energy, thinking about many, many things. So they are the caregiver, they're also the dietitian, they're also the driver, they're also the welfare counselor. and they also look after the medical needs of the family.
Right.
So when an executive is stressy at work, it's usually because there's a lot going on in there. So if you are feeling a lot of that stress, there are coping mechanisms that we recommend, and I work with my clients on how they can manage better, draw healthy boundaries, learn how to say no, and maybe just overall be less prickly at work.
And you were just giving us a couple of examples of healthy boundaries, like people who find themselves with too much on their plate and finding it hard to say no to a colleague or a boss. How can a woman or anyone say no?
Yeah, so there are so many ways you can. I mean, number one, just say I can't, especially to something that's not going to really help or add value or take too much time. Bake sale. Oh, we're having this event. There's a D&D. Would you like to be
volunteer?
Right.
Yeah.
So you can always just say, look, I can't. And so the nice way to say no is I would love to, but I can't. But let me know if there's this other thing, and then I can help you out. And it doesn't take up too much of my time, right? But you don't say that. You don't go
say it
into too
out
much
loud,
detail.
yeah. But what about if it's a boss then?
Exactly.
There's a
If
bake
it's-
sale is not going to be coming from him, clearly.
Well, the bosses tend to come to your table and go, my son's school has a fundraising drive.
Oh,
Can
my
you
gosh.
contribute?
Can you donate?
Can you donate?
Okay,
Well, you can't say no.
That's an easy thing. But when your boss comes
Yeah.
in, your plate
Yeah.
is full. Your boss gives you more work.
Yes.
How do you say no to that boss without the inner feeling of, oh my goodness,
Yeah.
he's
I'm
going to
gonna-
hold this against me?
Yeah.
So I've got two ideas for that. One is to throw it back to the boss and ask, which one would you like me to prioritize by when?
I like that.
Because this is the bandwidth I have. Now, this one sometimes can be a little bit tricky, especially if the boss is expecting you to work after hours or on weekends, and that's a whole different ballgame. But another way is to do the exchange. You know, I've got 10 things on my plate right now. If this is now top priority, can I delegate item X and Y to someone else? Or maybe, boss, you can suggest who can I, hand this off to so that I can then refocus on this other one that's now top priority.
I think that's a great idea. That's a nice way of making somebody else work as well.
Yeah. But if you've already got a pretty good relationship with your boss and your boss knows
That-
you pretty well,
Yeah.
chances are, I mean, there's a
Saying
good chance
no
if you
will be
say
okay.
no, he would be understanding
that's
enough.
true. Yeah.
to
Especially
accommodate.
if you've established your reputation
Yeah.
and you have a certain level of
Camaraderie with
value,
them as well, yeah.
and there's an expectation that you are, you are doing your best.
Yeah.
So that's the other thing about trust, right, at work. If you're new and you haven't established yourself, sometimes that can be very tricky.
Yeah, trust is very important. Well, thank you very much, Yen, for joining us this morning. It's been a pleasure having
Very
you on the
happy
show.
to be here.
We've been speaking to Yen from Career Agility International. It's 8:41.
The Big Show. Kiss 92.
Hey, thank you.
Thank you, Sean. Sean C.
Okay.
is coming up exclusively on the Big Show TV. That's nice.
what's
with
this?
The
It's a
background and
video.
Everything.
Oh. Are we playing this now? Okay. It's like intermission, is it?
Watch it.
Oh.
Watch it.
What?
I guess we should start the exercise to 1, 2, 3. So breathe in the head. All right. Okay, pay attention to this side. This time I take 1. Okay. That's 2. Put the 2 there. All right. So it's 2. Okay. And this last one again goes into the pocket, and it goes into pocket. What's left in my hand? How many? 2. No. Yeah. But it's, you know what? Let's simplify this. Let's do
It's
one
like
point.
on a loop.
Choose your favorite one. And drop down to the side. Now pull your hand out, pull your hand out. Okay, let's shoulder this one. And what
We're
you do
signing
is,
off
I want
after
you
the
to
video,
squeeze
right?
That one tight.
We're still
Put pressure
on.
on it. Put pressure, high pressure. Okay. All right, and slowly open your hand, and that's what we drop.
Oh.
Whoa, that's a pro. High pressure. The show, great combination coming up. When, where?
April 1st at Aliwal Arts Center, 8:30.
His bio, and also I'll put a link in my bio, so if you guys want to check it out, all right, get your tickets, and we will see you there.
Awesome. That was
Colin
Sean
Chris is
Sweet.
a stand-up comedian, I think.
Is he really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
I think
okay.
I've seen him before.
Right, okay. Well, April 1st, Aliwal Arts Centre. That's next week, isn't it? Next Saturday.
Cool.
Yeah.
Anyway, once again, thank you very much, Yen, for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me.
was
All right.
fun.
Thank you.
And thanks for watching us on The Big Show TV.